let's talk about the next leg of the trip, or the next, actually not leg of the trip, the next topic. We went through the coyotes, the unicorns, the galactics that I met, the other experiences I had, some of them anyway. And this is the section on dragons. I met a lot of dragons out there, and these dragons, I wasn't expecting them to come to be there. I was expecting to go on the trip to refuel on sunlight and do some work, and that was about it. When I went down, I was staying near Camp Verde, and I'd seen dragons in the clouds a few times. I posted some photos at one point of the sunset creating these pink and orange clouds on the horizon. The sunsets around Phoenix and in that area are quite beautiful. And there being dragon energies in those spaces. But it was a shock to me when I got down to the more remote location that I stayed at. I drove into Phoenix, and I found a location outside of there in the middle of nowhere, by some mountains, 40 minutes away, and set up camp. Felt the spirits there, knew there was energy there. There always is in the desert. I always find a lot of energy out there. There didn't seem to be a lot of fairy energy as much as some other places. There were bigger energies out there. I talked about unicorns in a previous video, the trickster god. There were some bigger energies out there, and as soon as I saw the mountain, I was like, I need to go on that mountain and hike it. And it wasn't like a big mountain. I don't use climbing equipment when I say I'm going to hike a mountain or climb a mountain. I'm not using equipment. I'm just doing things with a backpack on and that. So I need to go over there. I can feel myself being tugged that direction. And I go up there the first day or two. I'm hiking around, and I see some pretty stones randomly, just some pretty green stones. Nothing extravagant, nothing valuable, or that was like, oh my god, I have to take this home type of thing. Message a friend, they said it was serpentine, and it was embedded in other rock. It wasn't the prettiest type of thing, but I kept feeling a calling to keep hiking these mountains. And when I was up there those first couple times, I kept feeling called to go the other direction, to the other mountain, to a very specific location. I could almost see a line of energy from me to this very specific tree and little area that was up there. So I said, okay, the next day I'm gonna hike over there. I didn't know why, I just felt urged to go that way. And it was closer. I figured it was the trickster god. It didn't end up being him. It was that direction that the mountain he sat on, it was like that mountain, or near it anyway, one of the peaks. And so I hike over there, and I go to this area, and I look down, and I just start finding serpentine everywhere. Beautiful pieces, raw serpentine, some of them full crystals formed, and other things. And actually, I'm going to step away just for about 10 seconds to grab a couple of them so you can see them. Now, you're not going to be able to see them as beautiful as they are in the sunlight. They're far more beautiful in the sunlight. The natural light, the artificial lights don't do them any justice. But I started finding serpentine out there, and it looks like this, raw serpentine. I don't think I found many of the eggs that we called these dragon eggs. That was the next day. We found stuff more like this, raw serpentine. You can kind of see it sparkle, but then I was finding some little things like this where you can see there's crystals in there, kind of sticking out in that, and a lot of this type of thing. They're really pretty in the sunlight. They just don't do it justice on the video. So the first day I go over and I'm like, oh my god, there's all this serpentine. So it's beautiful out here. It's glistening. It's shining. It's very energetic, high energy. And they start saying, take it. And I'm like, there's a voice coming from the mountain telling me to take them. And I'm like, I don't want to take them. I don't want to, you know, take from this space, and I don't need, like, if I see one I like, maybe I'll take it and that sort of thing as a gift, but I also don't want to haul all these rocks and crystals and stuff back to camp. But intuitively I knew there were certain ones I needed to take, and there was like this big chunk, 5-10 pound piece of rock, that I definitely did not want to put in my pack because it was so big. And they were like, take that. And I intuitively knew I had to take that piece. There was something about it. I didn't know what it was, other than there's all kinds of stuff throughout it. And it was kind of like a multi-gift in one, and I'll get to that in a bit. So I hear these voices telling me this. My guys are like, yeah, do that. They want me to take this. This is part of an abundance thing. And so I take them back. And the next morning I go, okay, I had felt when I was up there, they kept saying, you need to go to this ridge that's between these two peaks, to your left and farther down. And so I go, okay, I'll do that tomorrow. And I go do my thing, and I go back. And I hike up to the ridge, and I realize that day, as I'm hiking up to get to this ridge, I start seeing lizards everywhere. Now, I had been there for probably a week, or 4 days, maybe 5 days. It had been quite a while at the time. And I hadn't seen a lizard the whole trip. And every time I'd go out there, I'd see lizards everywhere. They're just everywhere. Hadn't seen one the whole trip. And all of a sudden, I start seeing lizards everywhere. And I can feel lizards, and if they mean something, and in this case, when I could feel them, I could feel dragon energy around. They're often a sign of dragons being nearby, in like a way for me to physically have an animal sign of their presence. So I start giving offerings and keep hearing, you're going to find treasure up there, you're going to find gold, you're going to find treasure, you're going to find treasure. And I'm like, okay, and I start seeing lizards all over the place, and then they quiet down, and I get up to the ridge, and there is, again, a field of serpentine, like 10 foot by 10 foot, just laying everywhere, and some beautiful pieces. And I think I picked up one piece that was kind of like a raw chunk like this. And then I looked down, and I picked up this piece, and instantly knew there were dragons. I was like, yep, they are absolutely dragons. And when I picked up this piece, I think is when I started talking to the mother dragon. Like, you can see that it almost looks like a dragon head with a tail. You can look at it a variety of different ways, but a beautiful, and it's not going to focus, is it? Let's see if I get it to focus here. No. Beautiful piece that I have pictures on Instagram and in other places. You can see it from a little bit farther away better. So that was like a beautiful gift. And then I also found, and it's not with me, I don't know where it's at, I also found another piece that was phenomenal and has crystals sticking out all over the place. I'm not quite sure where that one is. It might be over on my table, but like two beautiful gifts right away, right off the bat. And they said, take these and use them. And I started talking to this dragon. She appeared to me. She was sitting on the mountain. She was green. She was serpentine meaning that she had a very serpent-like form, and very, very little arms and feet and stuff. Beautiful, soft, motherly, feminine energy. And I realized that this was her mountain, and we started talking. She's like, this is for your abundance, we want you to take these and we want you to sell them. Now my thing is, so first of all, if you've seen the Adopt a Spirit videos, you've been through part of this story. um, I don't like to sell crystals because they're given to me by the spirits. I often give them away, and in the past I've had fairies give me things and I give them out, usually when I see people. But it became an energy drain because I had to buy, some of them are delicate, I had to buy cases and foam and things to wrap them, then I was shipping them for free. um, all this stuff that became an energy drain, and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. It's actually costing me energy, costing me money to do this. I don't want to do this. So I got into this with this dragon, and I was like, look, I understand you want me to take these and you want me to sell them. First of all, I'm not comfortable selling them. And we talked about this for several days. This wasn't a one-off conversation because I was trying to figure this out. And I had talked to a friend about it. Like, what do I do? I got a dragon asking me to do this type of thing. And so I talked to her on and off for several days as I was hiking and gathering, like, look, I'm taking them back to camp, but I don't know if I'm going to keep them. I might just bring them back up and put them back, or put them in an area together like I normally do. If I collect stuff, might take a piece home, or might not take anything and just leave them. I look at them just for my own enjoyment. And so I'm talking to her, and she goes, I want you to sell them. You need to sell them. This is for your abundance. This is for to help you and for others to embrace dragons and other spirits that are tied to these crystals. I'm like, I have no idea how to do this. And I'm like, I know they don't understand fully the human aspects of, we have to pay for shipping, we have to pay for supplies, our time, gas money to get there, to the post office, all this other stuff. And so um, we go back and forth, and I keep collecting them, and I start hearing dragon eggs, dragon eggs. I'm collecting these eggs on her side of the mountain, and they're round. They're not like exactly egg shaped, but pretty egg shaped. Some stuff is like almost like a geode type thing. Like, if you know what a geode, if you were to take this, cut it in half like a geode with a little crystal in the center of it. And I just keep hearing over and over, dragon eggs, dragon eggs, dragon eggs. And the whole time I'm laughing because I would just like intuitively look down and there'd be one. I'd be like, oh, there's a dragon egg. Oh, there's a dragon egg. Oh, there's a dragon egg. They were guiding me to all of these and going, go down there, there's one there, go over here, there's one there. And that's the thing. That's part of why uh, I don't like selling them, because I don't go out searching for them. I'm not a crystal vendor or anything like that. They tell me where to go. I mean, I'm, you know, half a mile from the base of the mountain, and they're telling me, go there, you're going to find stuff, type of thing. I already know where to go. I already know where it's at before I even start hiking. And so I start finding these dragon eggs everywhere, full of dragon energy. And I found about 20, maybe a bit more, that were kind of like fully formed more anyway. And I found tons of geo more, that ones that had like broken open and that sort of thing. So I collect them, and they're like, we want you to get these back to into society, and they're in my backpack. And I start hearing the little dragons in my backpack, yawning, sleeping, like little baby dragons. If you think of a little cute baby dragon, think of that, but think of like 100 of them in your backpack, some of them being like scrambling around in their little, like, think of this like a little egg in their inside, running around, growing, and that sort of thing. So the purpose is that people who have these are meant to be like dragon keepers and help grow their energy, help support their energy, and raise these dragon energies. And so I talk to her, and I take them off the mountain that one day, put them, wherever I put them, take these big rocks off. And then I go back up the next day, and I'm up there, and there's a red dragon. And I start getting this feeling of like, don't take the rocks. Don't take these. And I start getting conflicted, and I'm like, what is going on? What is happening here? And because I didn't have that before, And the green serpentine dragon is very clear, present in my mind. And she's like, no, these are for you. You need to take them. And then I can feel there's the mountains, of course, are connected. Like there's, you know, ridges and peaks and all this. And then, so it goes straight like this. And then there's like a piece that juts out like this. And so on this side, on the right side, yeah. So on the video, actually, the right might be this way. But on the right side, whichever way the video ends up displaying, on the right side was the feminine dragon. On the left was the masculine dragon, and I didn't know he was there the day before. Very big, red, you know, much more fearsome looking type of dragon, and very suspicious and skeptical. And he started bickering with her about whether or not I should take these and whether I would do anything with them, because I was a human type of thing. And he was like, are you sure you want to do this? And she's like, yes, he needs to have these. And so I started collecting them, and I realized too that the pieces I was getting from closer to his side of the mountain were more of the broken geodes, shards, shattered crystals and stuff. Her side had more of the round, like she had been rolling them and taking care of them, more of a feminine energy, which was very interesting. So I talked to them for a while and gathered more crystals and came down the mountain path. And as I came down the mountain path, I try to follow animal trails and that sort of thing. It helps you, you know, if the animals have already made a trail up a mountain, that's the easiest path you can probably take. So I try to follow those, and I was following an animal trail back down. I had like there was a split, and I didn't realize there was a split, and I was literally like the animal trail is 2 feet away, and I'm on a separate trail that like small game, like a bunny or something might have used, and then there's a juniper bush blocking the way, and I'm going to need to cross over to get back down. Nothing difficult, but keep in mind I'm on a mountain on the side of a steep incline, and I get hit by this energy, and my weight shifts, and I slip on the rocks. They like slip out from under me, and I fall, put my hand out, and it goes right through a cactus. Now, normally I'm really good walking the mountain terrain and that sort of thing. Sometimes you fall. Usually there aren't cacti around to bother you. So when you fall, you just get back up. You might have a scrape or something. But this was an energy that hit me, and I knew it was an energy that hit me because somebody close to me had something at that very exact moment happen to them, and it was like a mirror effect in my reality, in my world, and instantly knew something had happened with them. So I pull my hand back, and I've got these like 3-inch spikes sticking out of my hand. This wasn't a regular cacti either. It was this weird ground cacti thing. It wasn't like, you know, a sphere or anything coming out of the ground. It was this weird like ground crawly thing. So I start pulling these spikes out. I didn't know this until this trip, but apparently they have barbs on the tips of them, and the barbs break off inside of you. So then I had for are they all gone? I think they're all gone now. A few days ago, I was still pulling them out, and that was like 3 weeks after the trip. But they were all through my hand, and my hand was bleeding profusely, and I didn't have my medical kit on me. Wasn't going for like the mountain wasn't very far away, and I mean from the top of it I could see my car, all that. So I was just like, I'm not getting into anything that's dangerous hiking or far away or anything. So I stripped my bag and went off in, trusting myself. But I was going to take a shirt or something and wrap my hand so it didn't bleed, and my guides instantly went, no, do not wrap your hand. And I'm like, but I need to wrap it, like that's to prevent stuff from getting in it. And they're like, no, they've said this to me before. And again, this is not medical advice. I'm not a doctor. If you need medical help in any situation, seek it. You know, professional medical people type of thing. So I listen to my guides and I let it bleed, and it takes a while. And it's, you know, I'm just like, okay, well, all I can do is hike back. My hand's swelling up. I take my phone and I start playing a frequency for pain and clearing infection and this sort of thing, and just hold my phone in this hand that got stung and playing that frequency as I hike back down for 15 minutes, 20 minutes back to the car. And when I get down there, the clouds clear more. It was one of the rare cloudy mornings in the desert down there. The clouds clear, the sun immediately came out as I laid down, and my guides told me lay down on the ground, get some sunlight, and just lay there for a bit. And I put my hand out in the sunlight. The sun is warming it. The frequency is playing right beside it. And then this little blue dragon comes running down out of nowhere, runs up to me, and it's got that serpentine look to it, more of like a Chinese dragon look to him. And he runs down and sits there and stands up. He's on his back legs. So if you think of like a serpentine dragon, like having curves like a snake like this, he has like a couple curves, and then he's standing up and looking down at my hand. And he's sitting beside me, and I realize he's a juvenile from the mother on the mountain. And he starts breathing energy into my hand, breathing energy, breathing light into my hand, healing my hand. And what I can say is, without that dragon, without the frequencies in the sunlight, my hand could have been a whole hell of a lot worse. And part of the thing what I was concerned about is I still had work to do on a divine counsel transmission at that point, and those are large projects. They take a lot of typing, a lot of drawing, a lot of energy flowing through, so you need your, you know, hand to be, I need my right hand to be in good shape. And so they instantly cleared it all out. I went to dinner with a friend, told her about it. It was a little swollen that first day, figured the second day would be worse. Usually the second day is worse. Other than just a little bit of stiffness, it was fine, and it still had all the barbs in it, like there were little black dots all over the place. But that energy work from the dragons, from what I did, just perfectly put my hand into a healing phase and cleared it all out. Now, when I was laying down there, I don't know, well, it might have been before I was laying down there, but the whole time she kept saying, or the mother dragon kept saying, she was a green serpentine mother dragon. I never made the connection until like several days later that green serpentine mother dragon, not just was she serpentine, like, you know, a snake, but this is serpentine. This is serpentine, what is that? If it's a mineral or it's probably considered a mineral, I'm guessing, or crystal or something. But so I made that. I was like, oh, not only is she green, but the serpentine part is actually the crystals that were formed and coming off the mountain. And so after that whole experience, I leave, I pack up, I finally decide, okay, I'll take these, I'm going to figure out what to do with them, but I'm not going to sell them. And I need to have a conversation. And we talked more, her and I, about what to do, and kind of came up with a variety of different ways, and I just nothing really resonated, and I was trying to figure it out. So I put them in the back of my car. I go to head home. I see a friend before I leave, and I go, can you feel him back there? And you can just feel all this like juvenile young energy in the back of my car, because there's all of these little dragon energies, some faeries. There were some crystals that were tied to, they were telling me to pick up, and I'm like, well, that's not even serpentine. It's like looks like a piece of marble or something. Tied to unicorns. A couple pieces are tied to inner earth and beings, and some other things. So I was like, okay, I'll take these home. Worst case scenario, I do what I've done in the past. the next trip I take, I throw them in the car. If I go back to that location or close to it, I put them back where they came from. And so I drive home with all these energies in the car. And where was I going with this? I don't remember where I was going. I just kind of lost my train of thought. I drive home with all the energies in the car. I talk to them about what to do with my guides, and then I ended up getting sick on the way home. Now, I haven't been sick since I was with my ex. The last time I got sick was like actually physically ill was December of 20. Let me see if I can remember the time frame because time's a little wonky for me. 2020. So December of 2019. I think it was December of 2019 was the last time I was sick. It was right before everything happened in 2020. It's the last time I remember actually being sick. And then I left. Yeah, I feel like that's about right because then 2020 is when I was doing my vibrational work. So it's been a really long time, really, really long time. And I know for sure it's been at least 2.5 years, but if you consider December 2019, and I know that because I had an experience around it with galactics coming to help me. And that would be, was 2024, 5 years. So 4 years because it was December, so probably 4 years. It's a long time. I got sick on the way home. Dragon energies were helping me. They were super excited. I had some in a cup, some in bags all over the place, and super excited to be in the car coming home with me. And then I got sick because it wasn't actual sickness. It was, I went on a trip after having no sunlight for 4 months, very, very limited sunlight. And I was in full sunlight the whole time. And so I kind of got like, you might call it sun poisoning. It wasn't to that degree though. I just took in a lot of heat energy, and I don't wear sunscreen either. And so there was just a lot of sun energy. And I didn't actually get burnt this time. I don't seem to get burnt anymore as long as I eat fruit. I was told before I went on a trip to eat fruit and cook food. I ate fruit on the trip. I forgot to cook a lot of meals, and it was because it was cold. It got dark late at night, and I just didn't want to futz around with things. And I have this ability to feed off the sunlight. So if I'm in sunlight, I can actually push myself forward more because I'm feeding off the energy of sunlight. But our bodies have not shifted enough to do that yet. So then I forget to maintain my body in that environment, in that, when you're doing a lot of hiking and stuff, it exhausts the body if you're not eating food. And especially when you're only eating fruit because you're not getting fats and carbs and other things to sustain the hiking parts of that journey. So I made a mistake there, not paying attention to my food eating health and too much sunlight, which exhausted my body. And on the way home, that's when it hit me. I was able to go in the sunlight, keep moving. And then I went from that to sitting in a car for 2.5 days doing nothing. And ended up getting a coffee the first night, which was a bad idea. Not a coffee, but a chai tea latte. Chai tea latte, which has a ton of sugar and caffeine. I got a really large one from a coffee shop. And that's not good because my body isn't used to those things anymore, and they're not good for your vibration. So that messed with me, and I just went into a state of pure exhaustion and ended up getting sick in a very exhaustive way, is the way I would describe it. I was just extremely exhausted to the point I didn't want to move, and it ended up affecting my throat. I got a lot of sun on my throat with laying down at times and stuff. And so I was doing a lot of integrating too. And when you integrate, those of you that are waking up have ascension symptoms. I was going through a big chunk of ascension symptoms driving home everything was starting to integrate. In having that enormous mass of downloads, activations, the integrations, plus the physical stuff just exhausted me. So it took me a little while after I got home. I brought the crystals in, had those energies here, started looking through them and realizing there were actual dragons in them. Not just the energetic dragons that I could feel and sense energetically, but there were actual dragons. Like this one I had noticed when I was walking, as I had shown you. But then there were dragon heads. A lot of them had formed dragon heads. And if you're on TikTok or Instagram at Awaken with Willow, you can see some of the pictures on there of the other crystals and stuff. But like this big one here that I'm starting to work with, that has a lot of stuff going on. Somebody said that might be turquoise, which I always wanted to find turquoise out there. There's like possibly pyrite, galena. There's serpentine here somewhere. I forget exactly. Once I see the head again, where to go. Yeah, so you can't see it. It's too dark in here with the lighting, but there's serpentine all through here. But the cool thing about this is that big chunk of rock I didn't want to take because it weighs like five pounds plus, and that's a lot of weight to add to your backpack, especially when you're gathering a lot. But I had it sitting there. I started looking through it. I realized these are dragon stones, and come to the conclusion after working with these energies and my guides that, oh, I can do this adopt a spirit program, is the wording they gave me, is adopt a spirit, where people pay for a spirit art reading for the being that is within the crystal that I'm sending. So like this dragon egg, I draw an energy of what is in here, which is typically going to be a dragon. If it's one of these other ones, it could be a dragon, it could be something else. Most of them feel like dragon energies. And then that would be a way of providing me the abundance to ship them and recover my costs of gathering them and that sort of thing, and not have an energy drain, but also providing value for you as somebody who is interested in adopting a spirit, bringing them into your home, whether it's a dragon or another, and giving you value because you're getting a spirit art reading, a visual likeness of their energy or a light code or whatever they bring through. And so I realized, oh, that's the way I can do it. So I'm still giving these away for free, but I'm doing it with a very specific type of spirit art reading that gets rid of all the issues I was having that I was talking about with the dragons, like the energy drains. So this big rock is sitting on there, and I'm working with them trying to figure out, okay, which rocks have dragon faces in them and are more unique, because I'm pulling them out because since they're more unique, they're essentially going to be more valuable. Now I don't know how much raw serpentine's value for. I have no idea. It could be worth a lot, could be worth next to nothing. But obviously, if it looks like something, it's going to have more value to somebody looking at it. And I also want some pieces for my space too. So I find some dragon skin that's really cool, one that looks like a Godzilla. I find a snake head, some other ones, and all these, they start revealing themselves to me essentially. Now that I'm home and I'm working with them, they're revealing themselves and showing me who they are. I have a piece, I call it Dragon Bacon. Actually, I think it's right here. It's got like blue and green serpentine, and there's like, bacon fat type of thing going through it. So I just started calling it dragon bacon because it looks like a chunk of meat. But they're revealing themselves, and I'm looking at this big thing like, why did you have me take this? I have no idea. Why did the dragons have me take this piece? They said it was important, and I'm going, what the heck? I can't figure it out. All I can see is it's got all kinds of different things going on, from like a rock perspective, mineral, crystal thing. There's tons of stuff going on in it. And then I'm turning it at one point, and I realize, see if you can see it here, if I can get it to show on camera. Sometimes the depth doesn't work the same. If you can see the outline here, there's an outline of a dragon head right here. And it's very clear in person. There's actually an eye from a crystal, like a crystal eyeball, and it looks like a dragon head. Yeah, it's probably the best I'm gonna get out of it, but it looks like a dragon head. And in person, I mean, it's clear and detailed because of the crystal structure. You can see a mouth, you can see scales, the everything going up. Like, this is all the crystal structure here, and the videos just don't do it justice. I need to get like an actual camera versus my phone. But the crystal structure, actually, it's probably the best likeness I've ever seen of a dragon in anything that is natural. It's so clear and detailed to look at. And then I started seeing the energy bloom as I've been working with it and leaving it on my desk. The energy's been blooming into like birthing, essentially. There's a lot of dragon energy in that. And so now I have all these dragons here. That is the dragon experience part of this trip, which was beautiful. They gave me a lot of gifts. I brought a lot of dragons home. And I opened up Adopt a Spirit, which you can find on my website under services. Adopt a Spirit allows you to, again, adopt a spirit energy into your home to work with. 90% chance is going to be a dragon. Some of them are not, but chances are, and you can specify if you want a dragon egg. And so you can bring dragons into your own home and be a dragon keeper as well and start working with those energies. If you are interested, I also have the workshops and activations for dragons on my YouTube channel they're under workshops. There's a workshops playlist. So I have those on my YouTube channel, and then an activation on my website. I'll try to remember to put those links in the description. If I don't, and you notice I don't, just comment, and then I'll update it. But that's a good way to bring dragon energy into your space if you're not quite working with it yet. And I think that's it. So if you like this video, please comment, like, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, questions, comments. If you want to support me and my work, you can find Adopt a Spirit, Spirit Art readings, Divine Counsel transmissions on my website to help you connect to your own dragons, to your guides, to unicorns, fairies, gods, all those sorts of things, ancestors, past loved ones. Let me know, and I will send you the link, or you can find it at awakenwithwillow.com. And just thank you for watching, supporting this work. Grateful for each and every one of you, and I love you all. That is the final video of the Arizona trip. And so if you're looking for other videos on galactics or dragons, you can find links on the cards after this video, or just peruse the list, the playlists and video libraries that are on YouTube, and you'll find all kinds of things, whether it's dragons, fairies, galactics, general spirituality and techniques, and that sort of thing. So until the next trip I take, thank you all for watching. Love you all.